Hello everyone, welcome to the Varoma class in the kitchen. Today we're so excited to be cooking together with you. We've got Susie and Mon and myself. So thank you so much for joining us and tuning in. There's a lot of people still coming in and we'll let them in as they come in. So today we're going to inspire you something a little bit special at the end. So make sure you wait until the end because we'd love to for you to have a little bit of fun with us at the end. So let us know in the chat where you're all from. If because we know your emails, we've got your registration papers, but where are you from and what would you like to get out of today's class? If you can pop that in the chat, that'll really help us and we can be. You're dancing to my Varoma and we can't hear you. Did you see us? Oh, no! Wow! Well, our little surprise may not be a little surprise anymore. Hello from Byron Bay. I do know there are some people coming from Portugal today, which is amazing. So it's wonderful to know that we've reached so many people globally, just a little bit like the Thermomix actually. Today's class we're going to see 5 dishes. I'm going to keep letting people in, and what we wanted to share with you is different ways that you're using the Varoma. I've also got on my my Cookadoo account a whole list of Varoma, and I'll share with you at some point today how you can manipulate Cookadoo so you can find more Varoma recipes. And it's so quiet, isn't it? You girls here?
Yeah, I know. Yes, to you.
Hello, we're listening. So we're going to, at the back, I'm actually making, and it's something that I needed to pre-do, a white balsamic glaze for a rack of lamb. So is anyone a farmer out there, has lamb and they want to know different recipes to do with it? We're going to show you one of those today. I'm going to let all these people in. And the other things, I'm losing my mind, keeping letting everybody in here.
Well, how about I do that? You keep talking.
Yeah, that'd be great, Suze. So, all right. So we're going to start with a dessert. Always the best way to start is with a dessert, and that's going to be presented by Alex. It's going to have a cook time, and we're going to show you a little bit more about that. Then we're going to flip over to Sally Ann's house. Then we're going to flip over to my house. And then we're going to flip over to Gemma's house and flip back to all of us. It's a bit of, hopefully don't get dizzy, okay? So,
are you going on a holiday today, guys? How fantastic. You haven't even left your room. Fabulous.
It's wonderful. So we're going to kick start because there's plenty of chat time. And if I can help you with your Zoom, up the top of your computer, you'll have 2 choices. If you pin the presenter's video, or we can do that on our end as well. Then you're going to see in the big box who's speaking. If you have the gallery view, set to gallery view, that means you're going to see everyone in equal boxes. So you really want to see the presenter at the time. If you have any trouble at any time, please just pop something in the chat, and there's a lot of girls here who can help you with that. Someone's calling me. It's a great time to be calling. So, Alex, you're our first presenter today. Are you ready for us?
I am ready.
Awesome. But just before I switch over to you, just one more thing. If you've got questions, please pop them in the chat. And if you could keep on mute, because there is about 100 people on today, that would just really help us with the background noise. All right, I'm going to switch over to you, Alex, and see you guys soon.
Perfect, thank you, Sam. So I am making a Spanish flan, which I would call a cream caramel for anyone wanting to know what that is. It's basically, it's going to be our custard mixture with a caramel topping. So when we are finished, it'll be flipped up on itself, and then the caramel will just pour out on top of that flan. So this Spanish flan is cooked in our Varoma. It's steamed on our top. So what I've done, I'm going to skip through a few steps because the first part of it was to caramelize our sugar. So I've put 120 grams of sugar just in a frying pan, and I've put it on just a slow heat, and it's taken about It's taking about 5 minutes to get this golden caramel color, just swirling it occasionally, giving it a quick stir. And so that I just popped in. As you can see, I'm just currently trying to get the caramel around the outside of our jar. And then I'm going to continue making our custard. So what I'm going to do, we're going to pop, so this is just the Spanish lamb on cookie dough. So I'm going to pop 3 eggs into our mixing bowl. Keeping it perfect. And then condensed milk. So I made this condensed milk this morning. Condensed milk is super easy to make in your Thermomix. It's basically water, butter, powdered milk and some sugar. And I made a double batch of this because I needed a little bit more than a tin of condensed milk for this recipe. So this is beautiful Thermomix made condensed milk, and it is super thick. So it's 395 grams of condensed milk. And the condensed milk recipe is on cookie dough as well. We've got 375 grams of evaporative milk. And a teaspoon, which I'm going to guesstimate because I've got not much left. All of that bottle is fine. Of vanilla extract. And I've got the simplest dessert because this is pretty much going to mix and then we steam it. So it's going to mix for 10 seconds on speed 4. What we're going to do is just strain this mixture over our caramel. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to put my Varoma into, get that ready to go into position. And we're just going to cover this, so follow it. It says that we need to cover it with a sheet of baking paper, and sorry, a sheet of foil. Baking paper on top. There it goes. And we're just going to pop some water into our mixing bowl. So this is a steamed dessert, so it'll steam for 40 minutes. So just putting 750 grams of water into my bowl. Perfect. And then we pop our Varoma into position. So you do need to bring your serving bowl, which you've got your mixture in. You do need to lift that off the steaming vents in your Varoma tray. So if I just put that bowl on top in the tray right now, the steam's not going to come up and cook that pudding. So there's a number of different options you can do. You can buy a trivet in the mix shop that will lift your bowl up. There's a few other options. Cookie Dough recommends that you can put 2 skewers across your Varoma tray just to lift your bowl up. I didn't have skewers, so what I did is I rolled up a couple of balls of foil, and I had them in balls first, but I realized that my lid wouldn't go on, so I've just squished them. They're little pancake discs of foil. I've just done 3 of those, and I'm popping them just into a triangle, basically, just because I wanted to make sure that the custard was sitting flat. So that's not going to be uneven or anything. There's just 3 balls just sitting there. Put that lid into position. And simple dessert, because that's it done. It's going to steam for 40 minutes in Varoma temperature on speed 1. And then in 40 minutes, we'll flash back and I'll show you what it looks like. It does need to set and cool for quite a few hours, but I'll give you a quick look at what it looks like in 40 minutes time. So I'm going to flick back to Sam, who is going to jump over to the next presenter.
My gosh, Alex, that was so quick. Can you come over?
I got the 10-second dessert. Look at me go.
Awesome. Well, I'm just going to mute you, and then we're going to go over to Sally Ann's house. So we've got our dessert on. Now we're going to do our side dish. I'm just going to turn off my fan while I'm talking. I'm doing a white balsamic glaze in the background, and that's going to be dressed over the lamb. So we're going to head over to Sally Ann's house now, and Sally Ann's going to show us a side dish, and she's going to be doing steamed bread. Are you ready, Sally Ann?
Yes, I'm all good to go.
Okay.
Fantastic. Thanks everyone for joining in today. I'm so excited. We've got people from everywhere. This is so exciting. So welcome to my kitchen. I'm in Lockwood South in Victoria, a beautiful little pocket out near Bendigo. And I have fallen in love with my Thermomix, which I'm sure everybody has. I got my Thermomix about 9 months ago. And during COVID, at the beginning of COVID, I lost my job, full-time job, and I turned into a full-time cook here at home, feeding the family everything. And it was just a really natural thing for me to do, to start promoting and selling this amazing machine. So that's how I got into the business. And just by sharing what I'm cooking, my friends are loving it, and I love sharing it with everyone. So I was really keen to jump on today and make something that I love. In our family, we love bread. So I want to know, where are my bread lovers? Type bread in the comments. If you love bread, I want to know who you are. Type bread in the comments. Yes, we've got some. Debbie. So I'm going to be steaming bread rolls today. Now, I don't normally steam my bread rolls, but these are really, really yummy, especially for, and I'll show you the finished product, but you've got some pulled pork, some coleslaw, and they are just delicious in these light bread rolls. So we've got lots of bread lovers. Yay! I know, Jane, it loves us too. I've got a bit of a bread bum happening. So we're going to get started with our steamed bread rolls. This is a cookie dough recipe, and you can jump on and try this one too. Really easy. So we start off with some water. I hope everyone can see okay. Now, remembering the scales are in the feet of our TM6. So what a fantastic feature to weigh as you go. No need for any other scales, no more mess, and it just weighs as you go. Next ingredient, in she goes. So we've got some yeast. Now, from my experience, these need a little bit more than a teaspoon and a half. It does ask for 1.5 teaspoons. So I'm going to add in two full teaspoons and a little bit for good luck, because you want them to be nice and fluffy. So that's our yeast. I just use a really great dry yeast from the shops, keeps for ages. So now we're just going to zhuzh that around the machine. Because we're in the automatic or guided cooking mode, it's going to do all the steps for us, and you just simply read along and follow. So now it's going to be heating this to 37 degrees for a couple of minutes. So around we go. The arms lock into place, and this is just for your safety. Sometimes there's a slight delay with the arms unlocking, and that's just so the ingredients can settle down and it's safe for the machine to unlock. So that's going to zhuzh around. It's just heating up the beautiful yeast. It's warming that, which is activating it. So without the heat, you don't get activation, which means you don't get rising. So that's why it's going to heat it to 37 degrees. Now, in the meantime, because Thelma tells me in the meantime, so you just do what she says. We want to grab our Varoma. Now we're going to be using the dish as well as the tray, and we want to grease this. So you simply just grab, I just have a handy little dispenser like this with my oil, and you just zhuzh the oil around in there, get your hands and give that a bit of a wipe. So you just want to grease the inside of your Varoma just so that the buns or rolls won't stick. So we give that a bit of a grease, and you do the same thing to the lid. Oh, sorry, to the tray. So once that's done, the dough will mix in the next step. We'll roll out some balls. Now, all dough recipes require proving time. What's proving? Let me know if you know what proving is. Give me a thumbs up. It's actually just letting the dough rise. It needs to rest, it needs to sit aside, and often it doubles in size. So you might start with a dough ball this big. Once you let it prove, some of the recipes are shorter than others, it will grow double in size. That's what you want. Don't rush this step. You want to make sure it's really well proven. You'll get a better result in the end. All right, I'll pop that aside. Now I've just floured my bench. I'm just working on my chopping board today, but you can actually also get our fabulous thermo mat, and that is actually a host gift, and I'll tell you about that in a second. So now I'm wanting to add my flour. So when you take the lid off, always remember to tare. So that's just pressing the tare button. Takes your scales back to 0. So now we're going in with baker's flour. If you don't have baker's flour, just a plain or self-raising flour is fine, but do have a look out for baker's flour. If you're like me, a bit of a baker, we'll go through lots. I buy a big 5 kilo bag. So in we go with our flour, and we're going to go with some salt. I always use pink Himalayan salt. It's a lot less processed than white salt and a bit better for us. In with that one. And we're going to go in with some sesame seeds. So I've got all of my herbs and spices in these little jars. So in we go with some sesame seeds. We're also going to decorate the top with some as well. So back in we go. And simply, now it's on kneading mode. So this is an automatic mode again because we're in the guided cooking. And you'll notice the machine's going to come on and then it stops. And then it comes on again. So it's going to do this kneading action. And this is as if you were going kneading on the bench. But of course, the Thermomix does it all for us. So that's going to knead the dough for a couple of minutes. And so I wanted to talk about some of the variations that you can do with this recipe. So you might want to add some spinach, and you could even add beetroot juice and get yourself some beautiful purple buns. You could add a bit of tomato paste. Tomato paste is great. Different seeds. You could add some fennel seeds. You could do poppy seeds on top, whatever you like, just to mix it up a little bit. So you'll notice it gets a bit of a jiggle up as it's mixing away. You always want to make sure your Thermomix is not near the edge of the bench. So when I'm doing cooking demonstrations, I move out to my island bench, but usually we're up in the back corner, so Thelma's safe. But just to be safe, don't leave your machine while she's in the kneading mode. So we will put the links up for the recipe. This one is called steamed bread rolls, and it's on Cookie Dough. So I'm just dusting my chopping board, but you can actually get the thermo mat, and it's a fantastic product. I haven't got mine yet. I'm dying to get it. So it's a silicone mat, and it sits on your bench. It won't slip, it won't move, and it's available to you if you were interested in hosting with a couple of girlfriends. Now, hosting a demo is really quick, really easy. It's just you and 2 friends, and you get them over to your house, or we are now also doing, like we are now, a virtual demo. So virtual demos are quick and fun and easy too. So the only thing is you don't get to taste the food, but it's really quick, really great, good fun, catch up with your girlfriends. And by having those 2 friends take a look at the Thermomix with you, you now qualify for your host rewards. And there's a variety of host rewards. The Thermomat is one of those, and I'm sure some of the girls will show our Thermi servers a little bit later today. So have a think about getting your girlfriends together and hosting. You can host as many times as you like. You can host until you've got all of the gifts. So you'll see our dough has come together. Now you just want to pop that out straight on to a floured surface. A little tip, wind the base of the blades, and if you twist that, it should all come out. Look at that. So that's what I'm asking you to twist, the base. All comes out nice and clean. Now we need that back in there because we are going to steam our rolls. But this is what we've got so far. All right, we've got some beautiful dough. So what we want to do is we simply want to break it into pieces. Now the recipe does say 10 to 12. Yesterday I did do 10, but they were a little bit small for our liking. So today I've pre-done some and I went with 5. Now the recipe, as it says, can do 10, but I found they were a bit small. So we're going to go with, what have I got? 1, 2, 3, 6, right? We're going to go with 6 now. I'm going to show you a few quick little rolling techniques just because I'm a bread lover and I want to share. So we've got our little dough pieces. If you just stretch it out a little bit, just like so, put it in the palm of your hand and then just fold in, fold all the edges in, and you end up with it looking like this. Then you just want to go onto your bench. You want to cup your hand just like so, like a mouse. You want to go down over the dough and around you go. So you're just slowly going around with that cupped hand, and what that'll do, you don't want too much flour. I might have to do it just here actually. That's better. So with that cupped hand, if you go round and round and round and round, it's now going to bring the joint pieces really neat underneath, and we've got a perfect little bun. So that's a great size. You want them all around about that size. So again, stretch it out a little bit. You could even pop some filling in. You fold it in, just like so. Fold it in, turn it over and roll. Use your cupped hand on the bench, into your other hand, whichever way you're comfortable with. And then you've got another beautiful little dough ball. So now I'm going to show you another method if you wanted to do knot rolls, for example. So it's really just like Play-Doh for adults. I love it. So we just roll out a nice sausage. So just like so, and then you literally tie a knot. All right, so you tie a knot, keep the little top bit, and that is going to be a knot roll. And that'll turn into just gorgeous rolls like the bakery store. So instead of rolling the rest of those, I'm going to show you ones that I pre-proved earlier. So I'll bring my Varoma dish back now, because the next step of the recipe, you would have put your little dough balls into your Varoma, set them aside to rise. Now remember, proving time, don't rush it, ladies, because you will then have beautiful buns. We haven't even cooked these yet, but look at them. So they've proven really nicely. They've doubled in size, beautiful and soft. And then I'm just going to follow on with the recipe. So we want to sprinkle some more sesame seeds onto these. Just a few on the top. Remembering you can do poppy seeds. Can you leave them to prove longer? Yes, you can. Yeah. So I've proved these ones today for 2 hours. I just wanted to make sure they were perfect for you. The recipe says an hour, but like the longer the better. Alrighty, so now we're going to go in with 800 grams of water. Remember, the machine will do it all for you. You just need to bring it back to 0. So in with 800 grams. And while these are steaming, we're going to head over to another recipe, and I will come back with my beautiful steamed bread rolls, and I'll fill them with pulled pork and coleslaw and make you all so jealous, and you will just be salivating. So that goes on there. The lid goes on, and away we go. We've got 40 minutes of steaming these beautiful buns. So I'll come back when I've got the finished product. Enjoy the rest of the recipes today. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Sally-Ann. So I'm just going to mute you. And what that does is it flips it over to our house. I just need to find myself and pin me so I I've got another one coming in. Excellent. All right. Just bear with me, girls, while I just pin myself because I need to see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to, because we can still just see you, Sally Ann, so I'm just going to, can I give you girls one of these to do? Ah, there I am. Hey, here we are.
Oh, good. We're on.
Sorry, it's really hard to share with you when we can't actually see what we're doing. So thanks for your patience. We're a little bit of a comedy act today. We promise we haven't been drinking.
Yes.
But that's coming. So I'm going to share with you how to do a rack of lamb in the Thermomix. This is one of the first recipes that I ever did. It is from the 2-person cookbook called Cooking for You and Me. You'll also find it on Cookadoo. It's called Lamb Rack with Port Sauce and Parsnip Puree. I have some very special visitors coming today from Sydney, and I'm so excited. So we're just going to have this feast, and I can't wait to do something special. I'm going to start cooking and keep talking while I do that. So the first step in here was to do the white balsamic glaze. Now, did you know if you want to skip a part of the recipe, just go into the recipe detail, scroll up, and then I'm going to skip those steps. And I just want to jump, because I've already done that, remember, and I want to jump to where I'm going to do the meat. So we're going to go right down here to step 5. So instead of clicking next each time, you just click on the step that you want to start at. Do you like that tip? If you didn't know that, type it in the chat, let us know. Feedback is always welcome in our classes. So I've got my bowl ready to go. I'm just going to put 600 grams of water in here. I've got to concentrate when I'm doing this. Now, I am doubling this recipe, and I've actually got, I'm going to share a bit more about that. I've got 2 Thermomixes cooking this recipe today. So we've also got some vegetable stock paste. Who's making that? Because this is gold liquid, really it is. You can do chicken stock paste, beef stock paste, vegetable stock paste. It saves your bomb. It's one of the first recipes that we do when we present your brand new Thermomix to you. And it saves you about $80, would you say, girls? And it's using up all of your scraps. So if you're not doing stock, let us know. And I'm just going to keep that chat going so I can see what's in there. In here, we're going to have some parsnip. Now, this is parsnip puree mash at the moment. Parsnips are around $11 a kilo, so it is a bit of a special dish. If you're doing Christmas in July, this would be a winner. I've already prepped it and I've shoved it all in here. I don't weigh anything. I'm just going on the size of the dish. In it goes. And then I've popped in, it says 400 grams of parsnips peeled and cut into pieces. I think I've got double that. And then I'm going to pop my lid on and rub my lamb rack with salt and just pop this aside. And I'm going to rub it with the balsamic glaze that I did earlier. So that glaze, I've just strained it. You can see here I've just used my strainer. There's someone at our door, my dog's having a little bath. So this is, don't tip this out. This is going to come in handy later. And in here we've got some of the balsamic glaze. I'm just going to get a brush because it's easy to do with that. And you want to rub bowl underneath my, now if you can't find white balsamic, I actually had to get the girls to shop for me because it's not in my town. So I'm just going to paste, can you see what I'm doing here? Paste all of the, thanks Susie. So you can get it from Woolies. You can't make it. You can't make the vinegar, so but you do make the balsamic glaze, and it's just like doing a you know, the dark glaze. I'm just going to give that a really nice coat.
That brush is available on the mix shop too.
There you go. I didn't know that. I got this from another company.
No, we've got a nice big one. It's grey. It
Yeah.
comes with a spatula, silicone spatula as well. It's really great value.
Awesome tip. Thanks, Mon. Be generous with your glaze, okay? It's a really simple recipe, and you just want to, you know, be generous. So in here, I've got my racks of lamb. Now, you could do a crown. Have you ever done a crown? It's a beautiful centerpiece, and then you can, it's obviously a round crown rack. You need to get your butcher to cut it like that. That would be beautiful on the dinner table. Underneath here, I've got some rosemary, and I've got a couple of garlic cloves. That's it. Squash it down, bone side down, on it goes, lid on, and next, yes, and we're getting up to the cook, and we're just going to cook that up. That's how easy this dish is. So in the bottom, we've got a, it's very sticky, so it's a good thing. We want it to be nice and sticky. In the bottom, we've got our puree going on, and at the top, we've got our meat going on. Later on, and it may be before I come back to you, I'm going to also steam my vegetables. The recipe's already catered for that. So earlier on, what I did was just prepare my greens. You could put snow peas in here, you could put broccoli, broccolini, whatever greens you really feel like. You could make a lovely garlic sauce to go with this. You can, if you're doing a lot of meat in here, you can do your vegetables elsewhere. So you can fit quite a lot in your Varoma when you do it. Has anyone made this recipe before? Can you type in the chat? Or if you want, come off mute and talk to me. Has anyone made this recipe before? Or what are the other dishes that you love to cook with your Varoma? I never buy it and it lasts forever in the freezer. Well, now you might cook it now. What I also want to show you while
stock paste.
Oh. I'm glad I've got some girls to have a laugh with. You know, it could be quite embarrassing for myself sometimes. So the other way, if you can't get lamb wraps, just use your chops or your lamb cutlets. So in here, got some lamb cutlets, and I'm going to do the same, put a dressing over that, and then stick it on my TM5 in the background. And I fitted in a whole lot in there. So if you do cover it up like this with a lot of food, what you do want to use, we're really loving the trivet at the moment. It's really a fantastic tool, and pop that underneath the meat. I'll show you. And then that way it just props it up. When you do that and you've got a whole Varoma full of meat, some of this is frozen, and there's another tip I want to share about that too. When you've got a whole Varoma full, you're not going to get your tray on top. So just keep that in mind, and then my lid's going to go on and it's going to cook away. So defrosting your meat, you can do that in your Varoma too. Did you know that? It's about, if you're in a rush, 30 minutes on, you know, put 500 grams of water in the bottom, 30 minutes on Varoma, speed 1 or 2, and that'll defrost about 500 grams of meat for you, which is a really nice, gentle way to do that. The other thing, as a rule of thumb, when you're doing any main meals, you need to have 500 grams of water in here, and that'll give you half an hour of steam time. So if you want to freestyle with your food, is anyone doing that? Type it in the chat. Not a lot of chat going on here. It's like Netflix today. It's just like TV. Wake up, people. Talk to us. It's really great to get some feedback. So 30 minutes of steaming, you just need to have that 500 grams of water. Thank you for someone that responded. How do you steam veggies into Varoma? I'm glad you asked. On your cookadoo, there is a really great cookbook. I'll just move this aside. I think I can share my screen with you right now. There's a really great cookbook that gives you all the times for the different vegetables. Generally speaking, 12 to 15 minutes steaming to So you only need 250 grams of water at that point, and that'll give you 12 to 15 minutes of steaming. For carrots, hard veggies, if you're doing potatoes, you want to do that a little bit longer. But did you know there's a really great book that you can use? Now I'll pull up my cookadoo, and just give me 1 minute and I'll share that with you. Because I've got a lovely, so 1 minute. While I'm doing that, why don't I share my screen and show you what I'm doing? That would be good. Okay, so I've typed in Varoma up here, and when you type in Varoma, all of your recipes come up that you can use Varoma with, which is fantastic. You've got your filters you can unlock there and take off Australia and pop on English, and then it opens up global recipes for you for all about the Varoma. Now I want to have a look at collections, and the one I'm looking for is the steam one. So let me see if I can find it quickly for you. I think I saved it somewhere. Oh my goodness, look how many collections there are on Varoma. I may need to have a little bit more looking on that. Just let me try steamed veg. See if that works. So cookadoo works in, no, I can't see it there. I'm going to need to have a look for it. I don't want to take up too much time looking for that. Come back to you and share. I'm seeing it. I put it on my page the other day actually. I've got someone else coming in. I will find that and let you know. Okay, so if you're not using your Varoma, I hope that after you've seen a few of the dishes today that we will encourage you. I'm going to stop my machine, pop it on the back, because Susie's going to be next presenting, and she's going to be presenting in this kitchen as well. And Susie can share some other things with you. Over to you, Suze.
All right, thanks, Sam. That was beautiful. Smells good already in here. I'm so glad I'm staying for dinner. None of my kids are here either, so that's even a bigger bonus. What's better than one Varoma? Hang on, let's get out of there. I'm going to find my recipe now. And that will actually just save where Sam was. So when Sam comes back later and she wants to jump back into here, it will give you the option to jump back into that recipe and continue, or start again, or go to a new recipe altogether. So that's awesome. I'm going to go into my week. No, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'll just go to Cookie Do and find my salmon. There we go. Salmon. Does not want to pick up. Here it is. Salmon, quinoa, feta, and mixed vegetable salad. Yes, that's what I want. So we're not going to do that. Stop pressing the buttons. All right. Yeah. Starting. Okay, I've got all my veggies all prepped, which I sometimes do, sometimes don't, depending on how many steps there are. Prepping your vegetables does save you time, but it makes dishes, so I don't like to make too many dishes. That's the whole point of having my Thermomix. I've got half a lemon zest, already zested, no white pith, and using my beautiful tool from Thermomix, really got that nice and fine for me. Just asking for some nice fresh herbs. Now, luckily, I've got some beautiful herbs in the garden, so we just want the leaves. Put the lid on. Everything's just so simple, as you know. Most of you have a machine. Some of you don't, though. There are some people on that don't, so bear with me while I just give them a few little tips. Okay, that's just chopping it down for me. This is a really impressive salad to take to a barbecue. If somebody says bring a salad, take this, and you will be asked to bring it every time. Okay, so just show you what that's like, all chopped up. We don't have to stand there for ages chopping all that.
And how many people have made a salad in the Thermomix?
Yeah,
Type in the chat box and let us know if you've made a salad and what salad you've made in the Thermomix.
So my husband truly believes that you can't make friends with salad, but I'm telling you now you can. This salad is good enough.
What does he say you make friends with?
What's the name of the salad?
He doesn't have any friends. It is salmon, quinoa, feta, and mixed vegetable salad. So garlic, chilies. You can put fresh chili or just some chili flakes if you like. I really love chili, but I know other people are eating it, so I won't go too overboard. Yes. Thank you. You're welcome. Now, we've got some oil here.
Brown rice and oriental salad. That sounds good. Potato salad. Yes, that's a winner.
Make a lovely potato salad in here, dressing and all.
On this angle, I can't read the top one. What's that say?
Oh, I can't read that.
Grain salad.
Cypriot grain.
Cypriot grain salad.
That sounds. Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out.
I don't know what that is. What is Cypriot grain? That's a new one. Okay, again, just chopping all that up. Have a look in there.
The potato salad's a good one for the Varoma as well.
The Aussie potato salad is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Okay, so that's just sauteing now. I love the fact that when we are cooking and that's doing its own thing, I can disappear and do other things. So who loves a bit of free time? Who likes to get as much done as possible in the shortest amount of time? Put your hand up. That's me for sure. Now, I joined Thermomix this year, earlier on this year. I'm Susie, your usual Thermomix consultant. You can check me out on Facebook. Susie is your Thermomix consultant. Like my page, we do lots of things on there. I'm constantly sharing beautiful tips with everybody. I'm not fussed if you've got another consultant. I'm all about sharing. So, you know, that's the joy of Thermomix. If you've got a machine, great, just enjoy it and get the most out of it. I also like to cook with my best friend sometimes too, and I'm just loving being with people today because, you know, lockdown's just been absolutely awful. Do you tend to forget about your Varoma and just go back to the stove? I think that's really important to just try and utilise what you can out of your machine, because when you are used to cooking a certain way, you tend to just keep going back to that certain way. So really challenge yourself, have a look at that cookie do and type in Varoma and just have a see what is there. I'm going to be putting some vegetables with this salad a bit later in the Varoma as well. So all of the benefits of this machine pretty much are getting utilised today, which is just fantastic. Saving you time, saving you money, and giving you back a little bit of time as well. Now, some of my favourite recipes that I like to cook in the Varoma is the chicken roulade. And I mix that up a bit. So you can be a little bit creative and inventive as well with all the recipes that are on here. They are tried and tested. So you've got that confidence to cook with. But I also like to challenge myself and enjoy new foods or cook something, recreate something I've had in a restaurant. So working in hospitality for 20 years before becoming a consultant, I actually transfer into a bowl containing, all right, so mix that with that. Yeah, I used to be in hospitality, so I love food. I love good food. I love expensive food. And now I love making all those things. So that's such a joy for me, being able to, you know, carry on that passion of hospitality. Here we are. Okay, so that's that. That's basically the dressing done. Beautiful lemon and chili. That's going to go over our meat shortly. Oh, I just missed that. All right, so we're just going to get down to the steaming part now. Now the chicken roulade that I was talking about before is just such a beautiful recipe, and you can mix and match whatever goes in there. It's basically a rolled chicken breast filled with whatever you like and steamed in the Varoma to absolute perfection. And my latest is camembert and sun-dried tomatoes wrapped in prosciutto. Oh, it's so lovely. I love it. So what are your beautiful flavours that you like to mix with chicken? Chuck that in the chat for me. Okay, so now I'm going to use this lovely steaming basket, which can be a strainer as well. Okay, the little spatula is your guide to putting it in and out. So we just pop that in here, and we've got some quinoa. Just wants us to wet that a little bit. Make sure all of those little grains are wet. Okay. Then we're going to get onto the fish. Now again, with the Varoma, excuse me, and this dish, it doesn't ask for corn, but I really love it with some corn in there. So I've just chucked a couple of kernels on top there, or cobs I should say, and in the base we've got the salmon.
Oh, that salmon is amazing.
Okay, so now it's going to have this beautiful lemon herb chili sauce over that. Sort of a bit like a marinade, and that's where the flavour is going to come into your salad a bit later on. Lots of flavour. All right, that's obvious. Put the rest on. Now, if you've got more guests coming, fill it up. Put heaps in there. Just make sure you've always got a tiny little hole in the middle, or you're using that trivet that Sam showed you earlier. Okay, so that's going to steam away now. Now, I also just wanted to show you a couple of mix shop items. Okay. So we've got a beautiful mix shop, and you can get yourself some great things. Now, I absolutely love the oval thermo server. It's a massive container that can keep your food hot and cold for up to 2 hours. So a bit of a trick for that is just heat it up with some hot water first. Never ever put these in the oven. You just heat the bowl up with some hot water, empty it, and then put your hot food in. If you want to keep it cold longer, chuck it in the freezer before you put the cold food in. Then you can take that to your barbecue and it'll look absolutely amazing. Also, our fantastic tool belt, I actually am going to turn it into a tool belt. I just haven't got around to it. Seriously, I'm going to, because I love these. It's got the sharpest knives. I actually filleted the skin on my salmon earlier on today because it does ask for skinless salmon.
And how did you earn that, Susie?
You can earn one of these. You can indeed. Thank you.
Kaz is calling it the peeler of death.
That peeler, yep, you definitely lose some skin on that one, but it's so fine. Like, seriously fine. Just easily takes the skin off without the pith. Like, it's just beautiful. So fine.
A lot of recipes ask for that, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So I love that. And when you're making your own ice cream, this scoop is the best by far. Okay, so it's got some really sharp knives, food grade scissors. Don't just use the scissors for the school kids use. Don't do that. Use the right ones with the right steel. We don't want anyone getting sick. Okay,
No,
so
it's the same steel as the blade.
there you go.
Sawing in steel.
Fantastic. Will keep sharp for ages. It's just beautiful. I love it. So another one of my favourite recipes is sticky date puddings, which I made last night for my beautiful guests that are up at the moment, and they were just blown away how easy that was while they were just sitting there chatting and not even knowing that I was whipping it up in the Varoma. So yeah, we've got some beautiful things happening today. Thanks for listening to me. I'll show you that beautiful salad when we come to an end. There's 20 minutes of steaming. I'm not going to sit here talking for 20 minutes, but I could dance and sing. I'm not sure if is it like that. So
A little later, maybe.
a little later maybe.
How's Alex going in her kitchen?
We're going back to Alex.
How's your pudding going, Alex?
So I've got 56 seconds to go, so pretty good timing.
Ah.
I'm just going to mute the wiggles a little bit.
And we're going to mute ourselves so we can flip over to you.
All right, we will mute ourselves, won't we?
Alright, so just got a couple more seconds till ours is finished steaming. Yeah, so cooking in your Varoma is obviously, it's you get the benefit of layered cooking. It's I like cooking all in one meals. So I guess from steaming a dessert to steaming or getting a main meal done. So your Varoma is very versatile. I know a lot of people don't use it a lot, but if you get into the habit of using it, you can make a lot of all-in-one meals and get the benefit of less dishes and getting it all done. So just pulling a lid off. Okay. Alright. So it does say check your custard to see if it's still got a little bit of a wobble. So I'm not going to be able to tip it up for you to look at, but it's pretty much set all around the outside. It does have a little jiggle in the middle. So this just needs to cool outside of the fridge for an hour. Then you need to carefully remove it from this jar that you have here. You just need to just flip up the edges a little bit. Flip up the edges a little bit, put a plate on the top of it, and then you're just gently going to flip it over and it should just slide out. It doesn't need to cool for another 6-7 hours in the fridge, so definitely make this pre in advance so you do get it in time for sweets. And I was away on holidays and only came back late last night, so Mon has actually pre-made this flan for me as well, and she's going to show you the finished product. That way you get to see what it looks like, because mine is definitely not ready. It's still got to set for another 6 hours. So I'm going to hand back to Mon and she's going to flip hers out and show you what it looks like.
Thanks, Alex. I'm sure that you'll be waiting the next 6 hours, twiddling your thumbs, ready to eat that. It's a long wait, but it's well worth it. We're going to flip over to Gemma now and give Gemma the opportunity to talk Varoma and breakfast. Are you ready, Gemma? Are you there, Gemma?
Yep, hello, just unmuting myself.
Okay, great.
Hello, very much ready. Hi guys, it's been so great watching you all. What a shame we couldn't all be in the same kitchen again today. I've chosen to stay home because I've got my little bub on the back. She has just fallen asleep. She's my little koala. Let's see if she stays asleep for the whole trip. Today we're doing a breakfast, so I just can't see myself. I'm just going to see if I can. That's all right. Anyway, so I'm Gemma. Today we're doing a breakfast. So we're doing some eggs, and I'd love to show you how we're doing them, steaming them up the top. They're called the sunny side up eggs. Now, why I became a Thermomix consultant is because when I got mine, I just loved it so much, I had to share it with everybody. I've only had mine for about 3 months and been a consultant for only 2. So I'm very new to it still. But by becoming a consultant, I'm becoming an expert user. So I'm knowing so much about my Thermomix that I wouldn't have known if I was just a customer. I'm loving finding out more information, and I find that out through other consultants as well and learning from them, which is excellent. Just today, I don't really love using bread. We try and avoid it where we can. And I love listening to the other consultants and hearing their tips on how they use it, which is really good. That's fine, Kate. Thanks so much for joining. What was that, Sam?
I love that Lorelai's on your back. I want to take a screenshot. Just hold that. Smile for us, Lorelai.
Is she awake?
She's about to go to sleep. Thanks, Jen. Back to you.
She's probably just waking up. I wasn't sure where we'll get with her sleep today, so I just chucked her on the back anyway. She's quite happy there. Yes, so me, I'm an expert user and I love it. Like I put a big investment into this machine and it's so great that I can learn everything I need to learn from it. And the other brilliant thing is it works around our family. I can choose when I want to work. I can choose when it suits us and our family and doesn't get in the way. So it's got so many great benefits. So like I said, today we're cooking eggs. Let me know what you would put with your eggs. So today I've pre-done some things. Type in the chat. Do you just do eggs on toast, eggs and bacon? Do you go fancy and add some nice things? Let me know, and I've got a few things that I'm going to show you what I like. So this is a cookadoo recipe, but I'm going to show you the kettle mode first. So slide across. It's a beauty recipe. Boiled eggs in the basket. Yeah, great way to do it. Kettle mode is one of the good features we got in the TM6. I'll just pop it in and we'll get talking. So I'm using the increments of the bowl just to guess or get a bit of a rough idea of how much I'm putting in. So I don't really need to have an exact amount. So I'm just going just below the first increment. And because of the scales inbuilt, it's going to know how much I've put in it and it'll know how long to heat that for. So we'll just switch that on and I'll keep talking. Lovely. So you can put in 100 mils to 1800 mils in there and it will heat it to the temperature you want. Beautiful thing, it does from 37 degrees up to 100. And why it's important for that 37 is, I haven't had to use it, but for babies' bottles, you can, it's a perfect temperature for that. And you can go right up to the 100, which is great for pastas and for us boiling for our eggs. Also great for your teas. If you want the perfect temperature, you can set that and get the exact thing you'd like. So because of the scales and the thermometer in the machine, it will know if I put cold water in there or warm water from the tap, it will be able to set that temperature exactly right every time. It doesn't tell me how long it's taking at the moment because it's working that out as it goes. It's going to take about 4 to 5 minutes. So for this recipe, while it's going, I can get my eggs ready. So I'm going to bring you down and you're going to watch what I'm doing in my Varoma. All right. So we'll just use the tray to start with. There we go. And I'm going to show you a few different ways. This recipe just tells you to line your tray with some baking paper or grab the pre-cut ones off the mix shop, which would be so handy for this sort of recipe. It does say to lightly oil it. I actually didn't last time and the eggs came off fine. So up to you whether you'd like to. So the recipe asks us just to crack your eggs straight onto the tray. I've got a few different ways, but let's just crack some onto the tray to begin with. Now on the recipes on Cookadoo, you can, I really highly recommend you read the tips. So this one gives you instructions if you'd like your egg a little bit firmer. I do like mine runny, so it suits me perfectly. Now, you can use a little egg ring if you'd like your eggs shaped a bit better. Just pop that in there. We'll use 2 today. Slide them in. So this recipe, you could fit 6 eggs up the top. I'll go 4 because I'm going to put 2 more in my tray in these. So these are little for poached eggs. I'm going to put these ones in the bowl. So let's just gently move that out of the way for the moment. Pop 2 in here. So you can do eggs so many ways. Like some of you have commented, you can poach them in the simmering basket. I like using my Varoma for my eggs. I find it cooks them really well the way we like them. I've got another egg here, so we'll pop that in as well. Now, what to put on top of your eggs? What would you put on top? I'm going to use some salt and pepper. So I'll put a little bit of salt. Oh, that's pepper actually. I'll put some salt on them. This is, if you read the tips for this recipe, they give you a few different ideas. Let me know what you'd put on right in the chat. I'm going to put some paprika. You could do some ham or bacon, cheese. If you have a little bit of cheese on them, that would work really well as well. And I might do some spring onions. So I might just put some on these ones here. So just a little bit of spring onion. And then, so we'll just very carefully move them out of the way for me for a minute. So my water's boiled, so that didn't take very long at all. Using my tray. So this is where I'm going to get a bit savvy to add a few different things in. Rather than just doing my eggs, like one of the big things I've missed out about going to the restaurants is having a nice big breakfast. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that in here. I'm going to pop in spinach. So I just chuck that into the side there. Some cherry tomatoes. Let me know what you would have in your big breakfast. Do you like sausages or just bacon? I've got avocado. I'm just going to set that off to the side there. I like it a little bit warm, but you can definitely leave that cold and just add it in at the end. I'm going to pop these little eggs that I've put in my cups into the basket. We'll just make a little bit more room. Put that there. Lovely. All right, so just being very careful, especially with your tray, because it's quite loose. Oops, I need to take mine off. And you pop them on. So we're cooking the whole breakfast there, essentially. I have added more stuff that I'll show you in a minute. Let's get that recipe off cookie dough. It's being a little bit slow warming up. Pop that up on the top. Has anyone cooked their eggs like this before? Oops. So place the Varoma tray in position. Now, like Sam mentioned earlier, because I've already done a step, I skipped my boiling step on cookie dough and just went straight to adding the Varoma. So next 6 minutes temperature of Varoma and turn to 1. Now, like I said earlier, go onto the tips and find out how you can alter them to suit your liking of your eggs. So if you take them off, the whites are still a little bit runny, just leave them where they are for about 30 seconds. And the little bit of steam from the boiled water at the bottom will finish that cooking for you. So you don't have to prolong it. If you want your eggs, your yolk a little bit firmer, increase your temperature, increase your time by 1 minute, and that should make your yolk just that little bit better. So great to see you guys are going to have a shot at it. I love it. In fact, I'm going to go live this week on my Facebook page and show you how I've created the rest of my meal. So I've got 3 other elements to this here already done. So if you want to see that, my Facebook's Gemma Coates Thermomix Consultant, and there'll be sometime this week. I'll let you know on that. And I'll show you how you can do the whole breakfast. So today I've utilised the fact of the thermo service. So these, like the girls have mentioned, are perfect for keeping your food hot or cold. So what I did, let's see, I've got some sauteed mushrooms. So I did them in the machine earlier. I used the high heat function and I added garlic and I think I put rosemary and parsley in them. So they're just the way we like them. Hollandaise sauce, you can't have a big breakfast without some hollandaise sauce. And unfortunately, I couldn't do my bacon in a Thermomix, but I did some bacon and I'm saving that in to keep it warm for when it's finished. So there's that. I'll just grab out my plate. Now I've got lots of elements to this, but it didn't actually take all that long to set up and get ready. So it is definitely something you can achieve for breakfast. I know I'm someone that has to have a nice quick breakfast. I don't want to miss plating away in the kitchen before. You could pre-do some elements and have them ready. While this is going, you could do your bacon now and get it all ready so that you're not wasting any time. You've got nice fresh bacon. You can pop toast in and get that ready. Like I said, we don't really do bread if we can help it. So I just use my bacon instead of having bread, I suppose. So it's got 3 minutes there and it's cooking away really nicely. So I mentioned some of the mixture. So you can, some of them have holes in them, so sometimes you'll need to let that steam come through, and so it's important to have that. Sometimes you just want Sam's done.
Can you hear me, Jen? You're frozen in this interesting pose.
Okay.
Oh, now we've got to move it. Oh no. Okay, Jem, I'm gonna flip. Is anyone ready with their recipe, Sally Ann, or just while Gemma's internet sorts out?
Come back to me.
Sorting out now. Yep, excellent. Thanks, Sally Ann.
No worries. So my bread rolls are finished steaming, and it asks you to transfer them onto a wire rack. You want to cool the bread rolls down. You can actually pop them in the oven if you want a crisp over the top. You could toast them on a Breville, or you can have them fresh. So that's what we would do. So I'm going to show you what they look like. I'm going to come around and then I'm going to show you one of the finished products. 2 seconds. Alrighty, so if I take these ones, now always remembering with your Varoma lid, always give it a spin away from you, and then this actually becomes a tray.
Sally Ann, go sideways.
Oh no!
Yeah, we might get a bit, you know, a kink neck. Can you see the stuff?
Done.
We can just go, you know, go.
Hang on, I'll just adjust my tripod and turn you sideways. There we go. How's that? Yeah. Great. I'll turn you back down here. There we go. I'm back the right way. So once you take the lid off, always away from you, otherwise you're going to give yourself a steam facial. And then you can lift your Varoma onto the lid, and this serves as a tray, and you're going to catch any drips there. So you'll see we've got our beautiful steamed buns here. I've also got some more underneath. So there they are, gorgeous fresh buns. I'm just going to pop that back there. And I have simply popped in a little bit of pulled pork and some coleslaw into that bun. And that is an absolutely delicious little entree, really great to serve up, and it is so yummy, so quick and easy. So yeah, that's our steamed bread rolls. So if you wanted to catch more of me, I am Thermomix Lifestyle with Sally Ann Campbell. So jump on over to my page. I love to come live and have a lot of fun in the kitchen. It often involves a happy hour cook, and we have some bubbly and lots of fun. So thanks for having me here cooking with you today. And I'm going to pass this one to my hungry husband, who will enjoy. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Sally Ann. That was amazing. And now, how do I get to me? You do that, right? That I'll just finish you up. Thanks. We're going to come back to Jem in a minute, but before we do that, there's a little bit of action that's got to happen in our kitchen, and then we'll flip over. So over to you.
Thank you very much. Now, another great tip with the Varoma is this little beauty here is your drip tray, okay? So pop it down whenever you're using your Varoma, and then put your dish on top of that so you don't get sauce everywhere. You don't have to run over to the sink, drip everything everywhere. Anyway, so now I've got my salmon cooked in there. My corn is cooked. So that just needs to cool down now. So I'm just going to pop that over to the side. So that'll cool, and we'll get ready with the next couple of steps. It's just saying to me, check if the fish is cooked, which it is. Great. All right,
Oh,
now
if
we're
only
going
you
to...
could smell that. It is amazing. And the salmon. Mm.
All right, so here we go. That's where you get your little dish out. Give it a strain. You can just strain it like rest it on the side of the jug like that. Strain. And here is our beautifully cooked quinoa. Now that looks amazing. Just going to tip that out into the salad bowl. Get rid of that. Okay, just need my fresh bowl. Sorry, where is it?
It's right in my cupboard, babe.
What's better than one bowl? Having two. Otherwise, you just got to clean in between. So it isn't that big a deal. I did manage 5 years without a second bowl, but now I'm a consultant. I must have the second bowl. So I got that. And you can buy those sort of things at the mix shop as well. Now it's basically just we're getting ready to mix all the salad ingredients together now. So we've got some capsicums in there. And you don't have to go with exact quantities, just go with what you've got, what you want to get rid of. Some onion, cucumbers I've just chopped in chunks. So these are basically the harder of the salad items that are going in. I'll just keep a little bit of feta out to sprinkle on top later, because it does look nice. Okay, did I do that twice? Some more herbs which we have prepared here. I've just put in there parsley, basil, and a little bit of mint. Love mint in my salad.
Susie, do you want me to strip this corn for you?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, Sam. Some mustard, Dijon mustard. I go through so much Dijon mustard because I make my own mayonnaise. So I buy that in like a 1 litre tub. I buy a lot of things in bulk actually, so it saves a lot of money when you can bulk up. Vinegar, I just use apple cider vinegar. You can use white wine vinegar, whatever you've got on hand. A bit of olive oil. Yes, my hands are a bit greasy. There we go. It's asking for salt there. I don't like to put salt in there. I put salt in the water before, so I'm not going to put that extra bit of salt in. I'm really trying to cut back on my salt intake. And of course, anybody who wants extra salt can put that on themselves. All right, so basically now, it's just going to mix all that up into a little flavour gravy. Any of the hard work. That's another great thing there, we all know. It's good food.
5 seconds.
Good food. Okay, how's that? And that just looks divine. Give you a look there. Yummy, citrusy goodness.
I'm so excited to eat this with you today.
Oh, I'm excited too. This is really a real treat to be out with friends. I think dining in is the new dining out, isn't it? And when you've got a Thermomix, you can really, really show off and make some great food. So they were just some cherry tomatoes, an avocado. So they're the softer ingredients now going in together. Ten seconds later, we'll have that sorted. We're pretty much done with my salads. It's so easy. There's so many great little salads that you can make in the Thermomix. So don't be shy. If you really feel like you need to make friends with salad, give it a go. There we go, using the spatula. All right, we can break up the salmon. Okay, so that's basically the big salad mix there. I'm going to put that into my beautiful big salad bowl. Absolutely gorgeous.
The visitors have arrived.
Of course, the visitors have arrived. Food. Somebody can smell food. The cooked kernels. We're just going to put that in there because corn is beautiful in a salad. We've got some cranberries, some pepitas, all in there.
You can make friends with salad. You can make friends with salad. You can make friends with salad.
Absolutely can make friends with this salad. Okay, so I'm just going to give it a bit of a stir around now. Bit of a stir. We've got some kale and baby spinach here.
Oh, that looks amazing.
It's a colour sensation. You will win everybody over at the next barbecue with that.
And what we'll do is we'll take some photographs of each dish so you can get that close-up view as well.
I just like to just crumble a little bit of feta on top there. This feta is just magic. If you could just get those tiny little bits in there, that is just divine. And that's my beautiful salmon quinoa salad. Another great dish in there. Oh yeah, the salmon. I forgot about the salmon. Goodness me. Another great thing to put in there is pomegranate. Bang. Great punchy flavour in some pomegranate, which I usually do put in this salad as well. So just make sure you're just using your freshest ingredients. A bit of pumpkin, roasted pumpkin in here, or steamed pumpkin would be fine. Some zucchini. You can just go to town with a quinoa salad.
It's making me hungry.
Oh, it does just smell so good. Get a bit of smell-o-vision going. Sorry about that, guys, but this is for us tonight. Enjoy. Thanks so much for tuning in to me. And like I said, Susie is your Thermomix consultant on Facebook if you'd like to see some more stuff. Okay, I'm passing over to Sam now. All right, thanks again.
Thanks, Sis. Oh, well, okay, before we get back to me and the meat, I'm going to get it all on the bench for you. But I just wanted to check in with Jem, because I know she's got that beautiful bubble on her back, and I just wanted to see where she's at there. I can see your camera's working beautifully, Jem.
Good. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not sure what happened. I did actually get time to do my eggs a little bit longer. I think because of what I've got in the tray here, it needed a little bit longer to get the steaming up there. So I've just left it going for a little bit longer, and that's how easy it is for you to alter how you want your eggs. We'll stop that now. I've just added, oops, I'm going to bring you down so you can see my plate and you can see what we've got here. So I've just added my hollandaise sauce in. So I've kept it in my thermo server so it keeps nice and warm so that it's a beautiful hot breakfast. My mushrooms. So like I said, they've got garlic and herbs on them. We have mushrooms in everything, so that's one of my staples in the kitchen. I love the mushrooms. A couple of bits of bacon. And then let's see how these eggs turned out. Remember being careful of that steam, using your lid to its full advantage. Pop this down here so you guys can see. So there we go, they're the eggs. So it depends on how you like them. I'm quite happy with them all shared space. If you want to use the rings, definitely easy enough to do. And you can just use your spatula to break them apart. I think they might have needed just that little bit longer, but let's see how we go. We'll just pop one of them out. Without getting it everywhere, let's use my other spatula as well. There we go. I love my eggs runny, so these are really great for me. I think that's going to be a bit too runny there, so I'll leave that to steam, but let's have a look at what's in the bottom. There we go, so look how great that is. So they've poached really well in the cups. A little bit of paprika on top of them. My spinach, so that's steamed off nicely. A couple of really juicy cherry tomatoes and a little bit of avocado. There we go. So you can tailor that to suit your family. If you need to put more, or if you don't want the tomatoes, or you want to put more spinach in, or if you just want to do a whole heap of eggs. I know we often have nice big family breakfasts at home, and we could do quite a few eggs in there and get it all done at once. So yes, thank you very much for watching today. I'm sorry about the internet cutout. I hope you guys are really enjoying it, and I'll throw back to Sam.
Thanks, Jem. I love that you've tweaked that recipe and you've provided us with some other options. There's a lot of excited people in my house right now. So I'm going to get going with the recipes. Let me just see where we're at. So I've taken in here, we've got, I'm going to unpack all of this and show you what's happened in here. Whilst you were watching someone else, I steamed the beans for 5 minutes. That's all it takes. Just another tip when you're doing double. So the one in the background, you saw how many racks of chops and stuff like that I had all in there. You need, when you're doubling a recipe, you need to add 20% extra cook time. Okay, and if you need the steam to, if you've got more food in there, you need to whack up your speed to speed 3. All right, so let me get my Varoma and we'll start unpacking this meal. So we've got a special visitor here with me today. Do you want to be on camera or not? No. Okay. So we're going to cut the wraps of lamb into the oval thermosover, which is a gift we've purchased at the moment. So beautiful wraps of lamb going on in here. Are you salivating because you're going to eat this?
I've had 2 from McDonald's over 2 days.
McDonald's? Stop it. Well, this is going to be just divine. And we're going to leave our garlic in here. That's going to be used in our sauce. So I'll put the wraps of lamb aside. I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to give that to my beautiful mom. There we go. And then we're going to get this one off. Take this out. I love how it just stacks up. Using the hook like Susie did. I'm going to get this out. And I'm going to tip what's left of that liquid. Take that out for a minute. I'm just going to pour that into our jug. This beautiful liquid that you're seeing going in here, you can actually save this. Don't chuck it out. Save it and use it in another recipe. All right, soup, for instance, what would you use it in? Okay, we're going to puree everything and put it all together. So we've got 20 grams of olive oil. Our local team, so I'm the team leader for Bendigo and the surround. So we deal with Malmesbury, Castlemaine, Dalsford, Bendigo. Where else do we go? Elmore. We can sell anywhere in Australia. Doesn't matter where you live, and at the moment it's all virtual anyway. So when you get a great consultant, stick with them, and they can service you no matter where they are. And I have lots of customers on today that are everywhere, actually, and I love that I can connect with them virtually. Parsnips, in they go. I'm just following the recipe on here. A bit of sea salt. So this is from the local pottery shop, as I was saying before. Them beautiful, aren't they? Love it. Ground pepper to taste. Well, oh, got a little bit of that here. Just pop that in here. I think I'm missing something. So I just need to go back a step and see what I'm missing. Transfer steaming stuff into a jug and set aside. Yeah, okay, no, I'm good. So there we go. Insert measuring cup until it's involved. And switch it on. Just kind of pinch my TM5 lid for now. Turn it up to speed 5. 20 seconds, mash away. I'm warming up because we've got a special presentation at the end for you, so don't go anywhere, okay? This is going to go in another Varoma dish. I do have another. What am I talking about? There it is. Here it is. Oh, there's so much food. That's why you need so many thermo servers. Like every time you host, you can access grocery lists. Beautiful mashed parsnip puree in here. Perfect. We're just going to get that out. So host as many times as you like to create your own family of thermo servers. Or at the moment, you can pick up a meter, which is a digital thermometer for your meat. Now, I did think about presenting that to you today, but I think that deserves its own little a little class on its own. I have a survey. It's 3 questions only. So you would have been emailed that at HuffCast. So check your emails if you can for me now. and have a look if you've got that survey there somewhere. So I'd love to have feedback, no matter whose customer you are. Really, really important for us to have that feedback from you. Okay, so a little of the steaming stock's going to go in here now. We're going to add the gravy. Blend that up. And while that's doing that, I'll pop my beans in here. I'm just going to put this massive meal on their menu. Pop this aside. Next. Transfer puree into a bowl, cover and set aside. Yeah, I think that was actually supposed to go on the pureed parsnip. The thing is, when you're concentrating on 1,000 things at once, you can get distracted. But the good news is it's all fixable. Now we're going to do our gravy. Got that to you, Mum? Just sneaky bean in there. Do not rinse the mixing bowl. Port. Well, I don't have any port, but I do have this beautiful muscat, and this is from one of our local wineries. So shout out to the Blue Pyrenees. A little bit over, it's okay. I love that the Thermomix TM6 weighs in 1 gram increments, but sometimes when you want to be nice and accurate. A little bit the garlics that I said about before, reserved garlic. And I'm going to pop in a little bit of this beautiful caramelized garlic from the marinade as well. And some parsnip puree. Well, I'll just get a little bit of that back from Mon, if I can, Mon. I've got to have a bit of, and 100 grams of stock going in here. So I've got to get a bit more puree going. Oh, a bit more than that. That's okay. So if you're doubling, remember to double the ingredients for your gravy. And a little bit of that puree going in there as well. You have it back now. Thank you. Just like a velouté meal and balsamic reduction. So that was in here. This is so rich, absolutely gorgeous. This stuff will last in a beautiful bottle. Half a tablespoon if you like it. It's quite sweet. Add a bit more. That's just going to steam for 4 minutes. While that does that, I made a bit of a splash on my screen. I am going to bring my Naomi in here because she's got something else to share with you about the dessert. See you in a minute.
Hey, hi everyone. I pre-made Alex's dessert last night so we could see it from the tip out, as it takes 6 hours to set. So as you can see, I've bought this glass jar which fits perfectly into the Varoma, and you place it on the trivet to keep the air going through, and it fits with the lid on. I found this one at Big W and Woolworths. So basically you get to the point of when you're ready to flip it, and I used a spatula which you can get from the cleaning shop, and just gently push around the edges, just like that, until you get all the way around. Simple as that. That's done. Place the plate on the top and flip. And it's the camera is on. It's decided not to flip out, so I'm going to give it another go around. Give it a real good tweak this time. cheeky dessert. This doesn't want Sam to eat it. She's been waiting so.
Oh, so long. I've wanted this so long.
I reckon it'll fit this time. All right, ready? Flip. Yep, there we go. And there's your caramel voila.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
So if you want
Look
to,
at that.
yeah, the glass is not broken. It's just the
No, but I want all the sauce.
caramel.
Awesome
sauce on that.
turnout, somebody just said. Thanks, Ron.
Fantastic. So I just thought after eating it, because this is actually the second one that I've made.
And what recipe is that dessert again, please?
This is the Spanish flan, the one that Alex made earlier.
Okay.
So I just thought it'd be nice to sort of give it a bit of decoration. You know, Sam's got some really close friends here, and I thought, well, why not decorate it up a bit with some berries? And you can put them on the side, and any berries that you don't eat, you can freeze for your sorbets later on. And so there's a dessert. 10 seconds in the Thermomix and 40 minutes in the Varoma, 6 hours in the fridge, but it's not a lot of work at all.
I love it.
So I just wanted to quickly, while I had everyone's attention, just talk about some of the things that you can get at the mix shop. This tray is great for steaming in the top tray of your Varoma. So that's your Varoma tray, so that'll save you a lot of paper. There's also the option of pre-cut Varoma papers. So they're great for your eggs. Speaking of breakfast, Gemma, did you know that you can steam 13 eggs in your Varoma using the muffin trays? These are also on the mix shop. And another great one that I recently purchased from the mix shop were these ones. These are called Darioles. And you could just do your individual eggs in them. I made a chocolate volcano, absolutely delicious. And these are all oven proof as well. So there's quite a few items to go with your Varoma. And so check out the mix shop. My name's Monique Coote. My Facebook page is Thermomix. Monique Coote, Thermomix Consultant. So that's Thermomix with an M instead of an M for Thermomix. Yeah, so thank you everyone today. Did you want to pop back on, Sam, and
Yeah, I will.
give our big finale?
Ah, I do. I'm going to pop this out of the pitcher while I just get, so we've made our gravy in here. We're just going to pop, how about we just pop that over there because it looks so pretty and we just want to stir it a little bit more. And that's going to, let's check on that. Remove the simmering basket. Oh, and we're just going to blitz it. Okay. We'll just blitz that.
Out of the way so people can see.
And I'll put that in a little jug. Lovely, my lovely gravy base that my mum made me. Just seasoning to taste and serve. So that was an all-in-one meal. There are so many all-in-one meals. Now I did talk to you about that steaming cookadoo recipe collection. I will find that and I will pop it on my page. The girls can then share it to their pages. So you'll be able to see that on there later. Perhaps put in your feedback any other Varoma recipes that you love. So just pop that up on here. Now, we hear that you're here because you don't use your Varoma very much. So we thought we would share a little something that could be your little reminder about how to use your Varoma. So let us share something a little bit special with you here. In our spare time, we might be a little bit music connoisseurs. So let's have a look here. All right, I'm going to play a song and sing along with us if you like. Take the speaker off if you like. This is recording. Here we go. My Varoma by the girls. Hang on, I've got to get some volume.
Ta-da! We know without alcohol. I trust you. I promise you that is without alcohol. Wait till you see the later on version.
We just finished writing that about 2 minutes before you came on. So a big thank you to all of my team Inspire, to Mon, to Susie for being with me today, to my girls Sally Ann, Gemma and Alex for being in their home today and presenting. The best feedback you can give us is a review, a like on our Facebook page, or tell your friends. The best feedback you can do is to do that. If you haven't completed your survey, I really would appreciate, because we don't get paid for any of this, so just a little bit of your time to complete 3 questions would be really fantastic. If you didn't get it, let us know and I will send it to you personally. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. We hope you've enjoyed today and we hope we've inspired you with some Varoma recipes.
Happy Thermomixing!
Happy
Varoma mixing!
Woo!